Today, we are going to be interviewing Suman Ghosh, the director of the film Puratawn, that we'll be showing at the Indie Meme Film Festival in Austin. Suman has directed and been involved in several award-winning films: Footsteps, Nobel, Thief, Shyama Uncle Turns Off the Light, and several other features and productions. Welcome to Indie Meme.
Thank you, and thank you, Indie Meme. Yeah.
Let me get to the questions. Many of us face situations or family scenarios that are addressed in this particular movie. Illness among family members, dementia, Alzheimer's, juggling work, family concerns. You have said that Sharmila's face inspired you to write the script. Is there something else in your life that triggered an interest in developing a theme or a story around aging and memory loss?
See, I wouldn't say something in my life, but generally speaking, memory loss or dementia is so prevalent these days. I think because of longevity increasing, and so every other family will find such cases. And of course, I have my auntie who suffers from Alzheimer's. But that was not particularly my reason for making this. I wanted to celebrate the past, and the that angle of dementia or memory loss is an avenue through which I could explore that. And um, and of course, there is a sort of dementia where you remember your past very well, but not the current, what immediately you have done. I thought that that was a good way to explore the mind of a person. And you will see in the film that we go into Sharmila Tagore's head and try to capture how she sees life. Uh, you will often see that for dementia patients or Alzheimer's, they try to talk to the Alzheimer's patient and pressure. I feel that it's a lot of pressure when you ask that, do you remember this, who I am, or do you remember this place, or what I thought that let them be. If they are comfortable with their past, that is the part which actually enriches them, and why not let them be. And so dementia was just a cinematic tool to celebrate the past. Yeah.
A fascinating perspective.
Mhm.
Uh, Many of our reviewers on our team commented on the fact that there appear to be two different threads in this story. One about the mother, and the other about the daughter and her husband and their relationship. As a filmmaker, talk us through how you managed to straddle the two threads, both in
Mhm.
terms of script writing as well as the post-shoot editing.
Yeah, see, that was my challenge in the script also, because you will see that the thread of the daughter and son-in-law is so one strand is of it starts off with their fight and how it reached to their separation. Another strand was when in the current scenario, when they have come to their mother's place, they start off with from a very, but slowly, as if I wouldn't say they get back or anything like that, but an understanding happens. And that is through Sharmila Tagore's, through their mother's character. And I was very, very particular of maintaining that those threads. And I would say that I used Sharmila Tagore's characterization as a pivot around which I weaved in these two strands. Um, it was very I had to be very careful while writing the screenplay, but during edit I think we just followed the screenplay. But it was very difficult for the actors because, for example, if you see Sharmila Tagore's character, effectively she plays three different roles, where one is her current self, one is her current body, but her mind is for 40 years back what happened. Another is where she is in a normal state, not like before they got married, when she was serving them, and then she was normal without dementia being affected. So I think a lot of the credit goes to the actors, and similarly for the daughter and son-in-law played by Rituparna Sengupta and Indranil Sengupta. These threads, as I said, so while shooting, and not necessarily we were shooting chronologically, remember, so they had to remember which thread they are in that part of the shoot. So I would give a lot of credit to the actors for maintaining the script, which was a bit complicated. Yeah,
Yeah, some wonderful performances.
yeah,
Which was,
yeah.
and your answer is also a segue into my next question.
Mhm.
What was it like to direct a legend like Sharmila Tagore? Both, as a director, how do you overcome the awe factor associated
Yeah.
with her?
So a lot of people are asking me in the press conference I came on also. See, I as a director, I've been working 20 years now in the Bengali film industry, and I have worked with such legends as Soumitra Chatterjee and Aparna Sen and Mithun Chakravarti. So with Sharmila Tagore, I think she made it very easy because the first time I met her, she said that, and she's doing a Bengali film after 14 years. She lives in Delhi. And she told me that, Shumon, if you are unhappy about any scene, anything, don't leave me. Because typically, don't leave means don't let it go. Sorry. So typically, you have the scene that, so suppose you're not happy, 100% happy with, you go on for retakes, and then you think that, well, she's 80 years old now, why will I go? And she insisted that if you're not 100% happy, tell me again and again. And uh, I think one of my, if at all, a positive point is that when I'm working on a film, whether it is a very famous music director, I've worked with Amjad Ali Khan in one of my films, or working with Sharmila Tagore or Soumitra Chatterjee, I am honest first to my work. That is, if you're an actor or music director or a famous camera person or whatever, we are all in together for making a good product. So that doesn't come into my mind if I always have in mind that it is Sharmila Tagore, oh my God, the legend, and Sapno Kirani and blah, blah. So those things are a priori, and you have to remove it before coming to shoot, or not even shoot. The first time I read the script to her, you should remove that factor of Sharmila Tagore, because otherwise your work will get corrupted. So I think over the years I have learned to be honest to the work, and whether it's Amjad Ali Khan or Rashid Khan or some greats I have worked with in my career, very fortunate to have worked with. And I personally think they also appreciate that. If you go and tell Sharmila Tagore, oh ma'am, you're such a legend, I don't know how to direct you, I feel in awe of you, I think they get irritated by that. They are also here to for a project, for a film. Want to put in their best work, and if the director is in such an awe with that person, then it's a problem, I think. So yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
great. Uh, the next angle I want to explore is that I noticed that the one of the leads, Ritu Porna, is also the producer. How do you, I mean, is this a unique experience for you where the lead is also the producer? How do you straddle that issue?
Yes, that was a unique experience, and she has produced films before,
Right.
and I am very good friend with her. I've worked with her previously also, so it should have been a new experience. But I also told her that when you are, coming to floors as an actress, just you have to forget your producer self, because then again that cross pollination will start. Sometimes it is good, but in this case it is extremely harmful. So I think she maintained that separation very nicely. Now the film is releasing, her entire company is working great on the marketing and promotions and blah blah blah. But when she was an actress, I told her to forget her role as a producer. There are people taking charge of things. So it didn't. It could have been difficult because she has to. It difficult for her, I'm saying, because she has to put in, don two different hats. But that was not an issue.
Yeah. Coming to a more personal note, I noticed that you have a very fascinating biography. I mean, you're a writer, you're a filmmaker, you're an academic with a background in economics. Walk us through these different aspects of your life. And seriously, do you get time to sleep?
I have sleeping problems, insomnia, but it is nothing to do with my thing. Ram, I have observed that yes, I follow a very different career. I live in Miami. I am a professor. I teach economics, nothing to do with films. But I make now I have made, I think, 12 or 13 feature films, two documentaries also. Um, Somehow it works positively for me because I have a distance from. So when I'm writing a story, I cannot write it from when I'm Calcutta in Calcutta. For example, now I'm in Calcutta. My film is going to release. I'm in a different mindset altogether. But when I go back to the US, the calm and the peace. Nobody knows you as a filmmaker there. I'm a academic there, and I think I get a good perspective of issues of my state, my city, Kolkata, and India also when I am in the US. So I would say that it is a vantage point from which I operate. Sometimes it is very, very tiring. For example, or I miss so much. For example, I was waiting to go for your festival. Honestly speaking, I have heard so much about this festival in Mim
Thank
in
you.
Austin, and I think Anurag is going this time to your festival. But it clashed with my release in Calcutta. It is releasing in the same week. And I'm telling you, I'm going back to the US on the 14th. I have a class to teach on 15th. And it is a class nothing to do with films. So I am now in this busy promotion period. My film is releasing and, handling media and whatever. I think that is good for your soul also, because you don't, and filmmaking is such a profession where you are too much in the public eye. And after you have become sort of an established director or an actor or an actress, that might affect your thought process, your thinking, and it might get into your head. But going back to the US, I have a calmness which helps me in my artistic and creative side, I think. So I would say that there's a complementarity in both these professions.
Oh, great. Um, a couple of your films have had brushes with authority figures in India, the one called Argumentative Indian and then Aadhar. Can you comment generally what it is like to make films in India in the India of the 2020s?
It is very difficult. But so the first one was a documentary on Nobel laureate Amartya Sen, and he had said certain words which the initially the censor board had said that you have to delete words like Gujarat, like he mentions the riots in Gujarat, and cow, because there was a lot of discussion going on about cows slaughtered in India, and that was a so I had initially rejected. I said that no, I would not compromise on that. It went to the higher authorities, Prashun Joshi, the CBFC chairman and a very famous writer, poet, lyricist. And so, what I realized is that the top brass oftentimes is not interested also. But the lower brass is so afraid that they think that the top brass will, take their jobs, or I don't know what it is. That was my experience with my feature film, where it once it went to Prashun Joshi, is the highest authority, and who is supposed to be the government, very close to the top echelons of government. We had a meeting in Bombay. He said that I loved the documentary. We talked about Amartya Sen, and then it was fine, But before that, it went through a lot of hue and cry, and the second one was more unfortunate. I made a film called Aadhar on the Aadhar card, and I'm not a fool to make a very anti-government film in India now. India is not a place now where you can make any criticism. It's against the government, and I was aware of that. And Aadhar, I was very perplexed because it was a funny satire, and you can always bring in any tangential criticism in any narrative you say. Somehow, very unfortunately, it got the censor, it cleared the censor certificate and everything. 7 or 10 days before release, after the promotion started, higher authorities in the Aadhar board wanted to see the film, and they thought that they would want 28 cuts to be made in the film. So I said that I want to talk to you guys. Why these cuts? And first of all, they don't have an authority to stop a film. But the way it operates in India, nobody knows what is the process actually. but I didn't get a chance to even talk to them. They said that you had to make 28 cuts. I was not given a list of the 28 cuts. So in a sense, it was a very Kafkaesque experience I went through, where my film, we worked so hard for that film. It was stopped, and it's 4 years now since that incident happened, 4 or 3 years, I think. We still hope that the entire unit, that one day Aadhaar will see the light of day. Let's see. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, this has been a very fascinating discussion. I think you put together a fantastic product, which our audience will enjoy. What's next on your plate?
I am, first of all, this film is releasing, so that's making another film altogether, the promotional pressure and everything. But I have a couple of ideas which I'm toying with. And let's see, I'm not in a position to talk about it, but again, it's a Bengali film. And somehow I get to that space where my films always have a celebration of the past. My last film, Boshu Poribar, not last film, a few years back, it had Soumitra Chatterjee, Aparna Sen, and many other stars and all. It was also like that, but I can tell you it's never planned. So, fortunately or unfortunately, this film is about an aged actor, aged superstar, and the story revolves around him. Yeah. So,
Well, this has been a fantastic opportunity for me to interview you. Thank you very much, and I hope our audience in Austin loves this film.
thank you, Ramdas, and thank you, Indie Meme Film Festival. I wish I could be there. I said from Miami to Austin is, nothing as a flight, but unfortunately, I'm in India now, and you can see the ancient doors at the back where I'm staying. It's a very heritage building. So I am in a Puratawn, the name of our film, and hope you liked it. Thank you so much.